It is time to count down to the opening of the alpha stage on Lowlands 2012 with a mind-blowing performance. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's going on, bud? Hey, Jeanette. So, what the heck? This is the Errorarium. What do you want from me? Errorarium. Errorarium.
Maar eigenlijk is het nog veel erger. Nou, veel ingrijpender in ieder geval. Maar je kunt zelf beslissen of het erger is of niet. En wat er eigenlijk erg is aan het DNA veranderen.
Nou, wel kritisch natuurlijk, maar niet veel kritiek, negatieve kritiek erop.
Ja, we krijgen er ook nog wel een stuk kritiek dit jaar. We krijgen er een stuk kritiek over bij.
Tweede jaar?
Ja, tweede jaar om er ook over na te denken.
Qua reacties is het gewoon spannend, interessant.
Mooi! Eigenlijk als die vis straks op zonne-energie leeft, hoeft hij niet meer te eten. Uiteindelijk kunnen we misschien zelfs zo ver gaan dat mensen niet meer hoeven te eten. Dat je een mens kan hebben die op zonne-energie leeft. We zullen al wat extra huid hebben, want onze huidoppervlak nu lukt het niet. Maar ja, we kunnen wel die kant op gaan. Dus het is wel...
En een ethische kwestie.
Ethische kwesties zijn het uit.
Zeker. Wel leuk.
Ja.
Nu moeten we de vragen stellen, want nu begint het onderzoek al. Dus als we deze vragen niet stellen voordat we beginnen met het onderzoek, zijn helemaal aan het eind, als er al mensen rondlopen op die photosynthesis werken, is het een beetje laat om die vragen te stellen.
You gotta know where the money shot is, okay? Right over here, when we inject the embryos with the algae, we're actually making a forced symbiosis. So forced symbiosis means you work together because you're forced to work together. Two species in one. Right here. This micro-injector injects the algae or spirulina into the embryos, which you can see up here. They're little zebrafish embryos. They're growing. They're alive.
Oh, oké. Ik denk, wat zit er in mijn oor, maar...
Come on, bring it on. We got the Errorarium, all right? Errorarium. The solar zebrafish, I don't know. What's up? Oh, they're alive, they're alive. Well, they're sort of alive. They're kind of going... They're not very alive. They're on their way to death, but you know, they get a little light on the way. A light on the way to death, that's a little solar for me. Actually, light from the sun is shit. By injecting this algae as wild type, the zebrafish are wild type, so there's no mutants here, but we're working on it. We're gonna try to get mutants out of the lab. The Casper mutants for the zebrafish don't have any pigment. They're not even albino, they're Casper. You can see right through them. They're like glass fish. And if we can get this algae that leaks sugar out of it, like it just lets its sugar go, it's always hungry. It's like always hungry, inside and out. It just eats and eats and it falls out its lower half. So it eats forever. So it eats the sun energy non-stop, and leaks the sugar into the body, right? Into the body of the fish. We hear from biophysics that if there's a sugar source, then the body will follow, right? You just give it some energy and the body will follow. So apparently bodies are moldable, bodies are mountains, mountains are meant to be climbed, so let's climb this body. We might need a
fotosynthese van de cyanobacteriën, dus de blauwalgen en de vissen. Dat vissen uiteindelijk op zonne-energie kunnen leven.
Well, really, it's mostly suck and spit. Suck and spit. It's a micro injection needle, so it's just a very, very, very tiny needle. Very small amounts of liquid.
Er zijn een aantal diersoorten bekend. Ook andere soorten
We inject algae inside of zebrafish embryos, and now we release them into the aerarium. So we suck up the embryos and we let them go into the experimental device.
Morgen zijn de vissen zo groot dat ze rondzwemmen. Het is heel moeilijk te injecteren zullen zijn. Dus dan moeten we even kijken wat we doen.
These are all the icons of the corporations that have sponsored us here. They're sort of illegal to show, but as a part of the art, we put 3 X's on Exxon, and Total Gas is connected to some exploding oil rig. And we even have DSM. Yeah. You can sort of see, it's unusual for a piece of art like this to be sponsored by Exxon, but here is the Exxon icon.
Loslaten.
Als je hier loslaat, dan mogen ze hier wonen en dat is goed. Maar wanneer worden het toch visjes?
De eerste kinderen. Water doen, dat is wel verlegd.
Oh ja, dat zijn hele
Ja, inmiddels, als iedereen streepjes blijft zetten, hier moet het streepjes over embryo's in hebben.
wat grappig. Nou, die heb ik ook. Jij bent heel... Maar ja, is dat nou een potje spellen? Ik denk, ja, waar is het?
Ze zeggen gewoon, aboe is
Oh, er zit nog wel wat.
Zebravisjes.
I didn't read that, so I wasn't sure. No cockroaches allowed. We didn't
Is that
clear
somewhere
them.
on paper?
No, but we didn't clear that. And then all these icons are not allowed, like no corporate icons. The thing's covered in corporate icons. My shirt is ripped and there's cockroaches, so I'm okay. Do I like this format? It's not like conducive to anything except for fun, but yeah.
Yeah, but my question in particular is, do you like to do this kind of an experiment in this context?
Concerts aren't that hedonistic. I mean, like everybody's dressed. Not everybody, but most people. I don't know. Maybe not. It's not my favorite. You know what I mean? But I like kind of, I think this thing should be on stage. You know what I mean? Like, I think it should be jamming. But I think also a more intimate context is better for me because I like to talk and interact with people and hear them.
Yeah.
We can't hear. You know, so then you're like, you shove it in and then you put it in and it's free and it's not complicated. And they're like, okay, and they pass me a beer, you know. It's okay. I grew up doing festivals and stuff like this. It's okay. Jimi Hendrix was my babysitter before he died, you know. It's like, no, I don't know. It's we just grew up selling artwork in the street. My parents are street artists.
Yeah.
My parents decided to just like make art and sell it in the street. They drive their truck like 40 weekends a year. We were on the road. Like I slept in the front of a truck and we would set up our artwork and sell it. Most of my young life was bagging art and running people's credit cards. Like I never have any money now. My dad's like, why not? You could totally sell out. And I'm like, I already sold more art. This is no different. You know, like what I do now, I consider the same. It's like carnival-esque, like hey, out in the street working with people. So my preference is the street over the festival.
Alle BN'ers zijn er in ieder geval.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 en ik ga zo praten met Adam.
I'm from Woodstock, New York, so this is normal.
Okay.
Science is actually a subset of art. It's minimalist conceptual art, because I just like art that incorporates life inside of it. The arto scientist, you know, sort of playful, but actually data itself is only limited by the amount of things you can measure. So if you're actually going on and on with the data and making more and more data, you actually end up with abstract art, like a Jackson Pollock. Most scientists can't use that. For instance, this is the errorarium. We say it like New Yorkers, because I'm from New York, errorarium. But it makes error. What it does is it creates light and sound. 4 living zebrafish embryos that are inside of this terrarium. And the zebrafish embryos are injected with algae, so they're potentially photosynthetic. And then we add light, and the problem is we add light and sound that's non-repeatable because of human wiggling of knobs. But to tell you the truth, one of my co-sponsors for BioSolar Cells is Philips, and I can tell you their growth chambers are not using the kind of light we're using here, because there's no way to like bring it down, how do I say, make it repeatable. But actually some of the light sequences and the flashes and the mixing of colors might actually be utilizable. So this is like innovation versus utility. It's not a scientific question. A real scientific question is what the fuck, right? But actually, between industry and actual innovation, we have like utility in the way, right? How's that?
Cool. That sounds very cool.
Okay, so basically this is about BioSolar Cells, so how to make solar energy more efficient. And one of the ways we thought of increasing photosynthesis was to make vertebrates that were photosynthetic. We're in the arts, we actually are here to inspire criticism. We love criticism, and there are reasons to criticize this project. We don't know what the future holds. So, are we fucking things up more than we're fixing them? It's a real question. I'm not here to answer it. Is there criticism? Yes. It's good. I actually think that embryos have dignity. Where does that leave me? That leaves me eating some caviar and believing in a woman's right to choose. It's not easy. Nobody knows what to do when people do it in the name of art. I've had some scientists come to me and say, what kind of paperwork do you have? And I say, well, we don't really even, we're just fucking around. And they're like, can I be an artist? Because look at this.
He's stealing my bicycle key.
Yeah, he's good. Look out. I come and say hello.
Oh, great.
That's Adam.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm me.
Yeah.
I'm putting my microphone on, so watch out. You're under surveillance.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
So you've really...
Adam is a series event of the Netherlands Institute for Ecology.
Netherlands Institute for Ecology?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
We're there.
With
We've been there for 3 years.
Oh, okay.
With the golden, poop is gold and phosphate retrieval.
Oh, nice.
From our own feces.
I like
Plus
this.
all the products from our own feces.
Oh, I'm totally scatological, so I would actually love this. You make feces products.
Yeah, we make feces products.
Can I say?
And we rear algae on it. And we make energy out of it.
Have you thought of adding amendments through enemas, and then when it comes out, it's actually like already pre-processed?
Yeah, well, maybe so. Maybe we can do that.
I think, I can think of some different concoctions. So the LED mind control stuff you're also checking, right?
It's really psychedelic in there.
Yeah.
And very hard.
You're making better art than me.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I'm really
You should have a
glad.
look.
I'm like, now ecologically, if humans were photosynthetic, we'd be back on the top of the food chain. 100% solars.
Yeah, we'll be at the bottom of the food chain as far as plants go.
Well, some people think that solar energy is the top.
Yeah, that's true. But then we don't need the bottom anymore.
Right.
We can.
Yeah.
That would be great.
That would be, but on the way, we're sort of wasting a lot of embryos. But it also changes the light. And at night, down here, at night, the light is rather strong. You can see it in the water here. You know, the LEDs in the water. They're up there and they flash. And inside we have embryos growing. I come from a political family. They kick my ass if I'm not a little political.
Ik zal even wat bacteriën opzuigen. Daar heb je wel 2 handen voor nodig. Ik zal even kijken wat je fijner vindt. Op het beeldscherm kijken of hier. Het beeldscherm is wel gespiegeld. Dat is niet noodzakelijk erg. Je zit erboven, geloof ik. Ja, ja! Wat is de intentie? Ga je voor de keel?
Ik probeer hem deze.
Oh,
kut.
iets lang. Nu kun je hem opzuigen met een pipetje. Deze jongen heeft net een zebravis-embryo geïnjecteerd met cyanobacteriën. En hij gaat hem nu waarschijnlijk loslaten in interactieve groeikamer. Of...
Dat is deze?
Mensen kunnen injecteren met bladgroenkorrels die dan daarop kunnen leven, maar zover is het nu nog lang niet, heb ik daarnet vernomen. Dus tot nu toe zijn we alleen maar zebravisjes aan het injecteren met bladgroenkorrels. Het zijn embryo's. Er wordt ook abortus gedaan. Ik denk dat mijn nieuwsgierigheid verder gaat als zeg maar mijn gevoel voor dieren. Die hebben nog geen pijnzenuwen. Nou ja, dan moet het kunnen eigenlijk, vind ik wel.
Als je heel goed kijkt, dan zie je dus dat die visjes ook een klein beetje bewegen af en toe. Kijk, zie je deze beweging? Ja. Zo net een beetje zo.
Ja,
Wat is dit? Dit zijn zebravis-embryo's.
Oh, lekker.
Oké, dit zijn zebravis-embryo's.
Ja, ik kan niet zien. Wat is het?
Embryo's van zebravissen.
Zebravissen?
Het zijn visjes die zo 2-3 centimeter lang zijn. Wassel.
Ah, ik zie ze niet bewegen hoor.
Je kunt ze dus nu injecteren met cyanobacteriën.
Ja?
Cyanobacteriën die doen aan fotosynthese. En die kunnen suikers uitscheiden. Het idee is, als je die in de embryo injecteert, dat ze suikers aan de groeiende vis geven. Zodat de vis uiteindelijk van zonne-energie kunnen leven. Of fotosynthese kunnen leven.
Dat is best gaaf.
Dat is wel heel cool.
Dit zijn al bevrucht. Het zijn nou embryo's.
Ik ga zwaar op bevruchten.
Je zal daar even kijken.
Ik draai.
Maar rechts is links en links is rechts. Dat is wel nog even...
Maar we moeten gewoon erop?
Ja.
Ja?
Ja, dat is wel een beetje een hele verhaal voor.
Maar staat er altijd gewoon aan?
Nee, dat is niet één.
En je maakt ze stuk joh.
Ja?
Nou, ik ben benieuwd. Allie, how many you put in? Huh? Allie, how many you put in? Mark them. Hoe stuk is het? Oh, je moet even kijken of zo. Je denkt dat er wat hier gebeurt, maar nee toch? Hij is echt allertofst hoor. Nou, deze is fucking tof.
Wij willen voor die ethische aspecten van wetenschap wat aandacht vragen. En ook voor het feit dat als je biotechnologie mag ontwikkelen voor landbouw, voor defensie, voor medische doeleinden, waarom zou je hem dan niet mogen gebruiken voor kunstdoeleinden?
These are the embryos.
We're gonna try to do. Oh wait, we gotta hit the secret button down here.
But I think that they're all dead. You can see they're white.
I don't know if it's a success.
Zaretsky!
All this thing does is suck and spit. That's all it does. It's a micro injector. This is the suck and spitter, and this is the micro injection needle. We've got a lot of them. We go through about 10 an hour. They're really, really freaking tight. They're long and sharp, and they stick right into an embryo's body, like this. They spit algae right into the center of a zebrafish embryo. What we hope is that the zebrafish embryo will be forced into symbiosis with the algae, and the algae will be forced into symbiosis with the zebrafish. Do embryos and algae tend to hang out? No, but now we have the algae inside. Oh! Basically, we got this machine for a couple €1,000 and all these needles. And we've got our cyanobacteria and our spirulina. And we're sticking it inside this needle, and we're pumping it into the embryos down here on the microscope, right? These are all zebrafish embryos here. There they are, sliding around. And we stick the needle inside, and we inject picoliters of algae into the embryo. And then we free the embryos over here. We stick them into this tank, the aerarium, and we enrich them. We hope we're enriching them and not just torturing them, but you know, it's kind of hard to tell. It depends on the song that people play to them, and it's the hands of the public. They're untrained sonic hands. They're untrained photonic hands. There's so many variables. There's so many knobs, you know? So the knobs get turned and the variables change and the knowledge does not get created. This is not a utilitarian project, but just like sticking your finger in the dike. You know what I mean? So we let people stick their finger in the dike and then jam to the I don't know if they're parasites or symbionts. Do they work together? Are they forced to work together? They're sort of like forced to work together. Forced symbiosis. It's like a Maoist work team or some kind of boarding school, right? So, how do I say? We're sending these embryos to boarding school.
In the aerarium?
Yeah.
And how many of them are here? Can you tell about it?
Well, right now you can see up here that we have actually exactly 40 embryos in there, right? So the 40 different people have injected embryos with algae and dump them in this water, and now they're living in there. And then this aerarium, you know, we crank it up and. I caught it, you got it too?
Oh. What about injection and the comparison with the Milgram experiment?
Well, there was actually the only person who seemed to say no was the first person that came up said, oh no, no, no.
No, I had 2 or 3 persons.
You had 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Let's
I
say
had a very long talk with one person that didn't agree with the injections.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't want to stop the whole experiment, but she definitely didn't want to do it.
Yeah. But nobody fights for the algae. You know, nobody says like, why would you do that to algae?
Yeah.
Subject them to a death inside of a growing vertebrate embryo. It's so cruel to cyanobacteria.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure how much it changes things because people either do it or they don't. I'm never sure if these labs are helpful for criticism or not. You know, I don't want to just be someone who helps people accept these technologies. I actually appreciate people who have critical views of it. I appreciate people who say no. More than that, I'm not selling what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is good, you know, this is the future. I think in some ways I'm making the science more accessible. That do-it-yourself thing is also a demystification, which is to say, oh, this isn't that hard. This is kind of easy. What is this bullshit where everybody's getting like $38 million for this stuff and I'm stuck here making bread? You know, I could do this. You know, and there's that demystification, but then there's also like, I went and fucking got drunk and did something to an embryo and I can't even remember exactly what I did. It's that kind of nightmare of waking and going like, what did I do? I had a couple though that I looked at them and I said, you're having techno sex with an embryo, sticking that algae in there and squirting it together, you know?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah.
Well, I asked a lot of people if this experiment changed their view on these technologies.
Yeah.
And everybody said no.
Yeah. Is this science art as canned fun? You know, like a can of fun. Here you go.
First was very clear what was happening scientifically, and then suddenly, and now we're putting it in here, and now it's art. And people didn't really get it.
Dick it, suck it, fuck it, you know, the whole thing. Fuck you! Yeah, god damn it. It's fucking, is rock and roll just bullshit? Or is it like beyond commodification, the punk rock thing? Does that make technology okay? Or does it make technology that much more stupid? Is it hot and stupid? Stupid and hot? Yeah, rock and roll? Or is it just fucking bullshit? All right.